Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your girl, Dr. Rhonda M. Lawson, and I am back with a new episode of the Horizons Author Lounge. And this is a very special edition of the Author Lounge because I have some really special guests tonight. And I see my first guest is already sitting here next to me. So I'm just going to go ahead and introduce you all. And I'm probably presenting to some, but I'm introducing to others. Author Brandi Wilson. And I'm going to tell you the subject that she's going to be talking about is probably a little bit different from what you've heard in the author lounge. But just as I told her, this is a welcoming space. And the fact that she's writing about what she's she's reaching a very specific audience. And I'm really interested to know how she's gotten started in this and how she's spreading the word about what she's going to be talking about. So without any further ado, I want to introduce you to Brandi Wilson. Hello, ma'am.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for being here. And now I'm really not sure how exactly did we meet?
So, I actually found you on Instagram.
Yes. Okay. See, I love it. That means the Instagram is working.
Yes, yes.
So, tell me a bit about the subject. Like I said, it's a little different. And I told you when we were talking before, this is the first time I've actually been able to do an interview like this. And I'm very interested in how you got started and what inspired you to write about this subject.
Well, my book is called The Karmic Life of a Psychic Medium. Okay, and I have it right here. And I got the inspiration. Actually, I went to a psychic a long time ago, and she told me I was going to write a book. And I was like, I don't want to write a book. At that time, I was like, no. And then as my life, as I got older, things like a lot of negative things started happening to me, and I started having these patterns. And I'm like, no, these things need to be talked about, like all these different spiritual things that were happening to me. And I felt like, you know, people need to know about my life because I am very unique and very rare. The stuff that has happened to me doesn't happen every day to people. I actually became psychic when I was 21, and I was like in 2007. So I wasn't born psychic. Um,
Okay.
what happened was I met the sister of a famous rapper. So after I met her, she was already intuitive. I don't know if she was psychic, but when I met her, I became psychic.
Hmm.
Yeah. And I was like,
So wait, you just now when you say you became psychic, you're not saying that when you met her you found an interest in it. You're saying that when you met her, you became a psychic just like she was a psychic. Is that what you're saying?
so I was already intuitive, but I
Okay.
wasn't psychic at all. Like I was just, pretty normal, I would say. But, I was kind of intuitive. Like I believed in like ghosts and angels and things like that. But she was intuitive as well. I don't think she was psychic either.
Mm-hmm.
But like when we were talking, I did notice some strange things that were happening, when I met her because she was working with me. And like maybe a week later, I start like strange things started happening. I started having psychic dreams. Things started moving. I noticed things were moving and like people were calling my name that I didn't know. And like when I would look at them, they wouldn't even, they weren't looking at me. So, I was thinking about how is that even possible? Because usually if someone would have to transfer energy to you, okay,
Right.
in order for you to get like some kind of abilities, but she had no idea that what I was experiencing, that she didn't know what was going on. She was like, I don't, she's like, why do you think it has something to do with me? But it did, because it started after I met her, and it keeps progressing. Like my ability, it keeps growing and it never stopped. And it's just very rare, because if someone did transfer energy, it's temporary. It doesn't last like for your whole life.
Right. Right. Wow. So Was that kind of unnerving to realize that you had this ability at first?
Well, yes, I was scared because I didn't know I was a psychic. I didn't know I was a medium. I just know I started seeing ghosts and dead people. And I was just like, there's like some strange stuff going on. And then at the same time, you know, the girl that I was friends with, she had her own stuff going on. It was like a weird thing that happened because like she was only there for like 3 months, but like after she left, things just started continuing. So yes, I was scared at first, and I was just confused because I didn't know where this was coming from.
So, how did you start to get more comfortable in your ability?
It took years. It took a long time for me to accept the fact that I was psychic and that I was a medium and accept the spiritual world. Because on a daily basis, I was seeing demons, I was seeing angels, I was seeing um, people who passed on, and it was like I was living in a spiritual world. I
Hmm.
wasn't living in a physical because that's all I seen because I wasn't around a lot of people all the time. It was mostly, I would sit in my room and there was a bunch of dead people just hanging out.
Wow.
Yeah. So it took me a while to get used to that.
Well, I'm quite sure that would take a while for anybody to get used to.
Hmm.
And you had to get kind of comfortable with seeing these spirits in the room with you, or them being in your life and probably speaking to you.
Yes.
So now, as I told you when we were messaging back and forth, I'm a Christian, and we don't, even though we don't have psychics, we have prophets, and many times people have a gift of prophecy where they'll be able to talk to you about things that are going on in your life, or what may be happening, what may happen in the future, or or maybe giving you a word from God. But psychic ability, it sounds like that's an entirely different world. Did you wonder whether it was one or the other when you first started?
Um, no, and I didn't know I was psychic until some guy told me, he was like, "You have some ability," and that was like way later.
Mhm.
I was a Christian. I was a real hard Christian. And when all this stuff started happening, because eventually I started getting harassed by demons. Okay.
Mm.
So they start coming into my dreams, and like I was being harassed every night in my dreams. And I'm like, okay, I'm a Christian and none of these prayers are working. I went to go see a priest. I went to go see a lot of people that tried to help me. And when I went to go see this priest, he told me that I had demonic oppression. So nobody could help me with the situation, even though I was a Christian and I was doing everything right. And, I was a good person. And it was just like, when I got that, I don't call it a gift, me being psychic, I call it ability because I've had a negative experience with it. It has not been the best. So when this ability came along, and it was attack after attack, and it was like no one could help me, and they're like, just read these prayers and read the Bible, and it just wasn't working.
Yeah, I will say that sometimes, I do believe that prayer answers everything, but I don't think that we as Christians sometimes do a very good job with teaching a person how to pray and what it means to pray.
Hmm.
And sometimes we treat it like it's a cure-all, or almost like a magic trick. And I hate to use magic and Christianity in the same sentence, but sometimes we treat it that way. We like, just pray about it and everything's going to be okay. And they don't realize that sometimes, or they don't tell the person that sometimes it takes a little bit more than that. So I can understand kind of your conundrum at that time.
Yeah. Um, there's a lot of things that happen on the other sides, like on the spiritual realm, that some people may not be aware of. And definitely throughout my life, I ended up getting into like black magic and dabbling into that. And it made everything worse, actually. But at first, I
Mm.
didn't know I was doing black magic. I just thought I was doing like spells. I didn't think it was, bad. And so the demons, me having the dreams about the demons, I went and got baptized. And after I got baptized, the demons started going into other people. Okay. I started seeing them in other people. And then years later, I started seeing demons in the full flesh. And I have talked to other people who, have these abilities, who have seen things. But definitely like black magic, getting into that makes things worse. That opens doors for more negative energy to get into, to get in there to cause problems. And then, eventually I started getting sick because I didn't know how to use magic. No one ever taught me. I didn't come from
Right.
like, my family wasn't into it. I was all on my own and I was just doing all kinds of stuff. And, eventually it started getting to the point where I was having sex with demons.
Wow. That's just a scary thought. So it's gotta be scary when you're in that experience.
Well, I think when you do spell work, you put it on yourself as well, even if you're not meaning to put it on yourself. I was doing so much magic that when I was having sex with these demons, I didn't see it as something bad or that they were demons. Like my best friend, um, I was telling her about it, and I'm like, oh, I'm in a relationship with this dead person or this demon. I didn't know it was a demon. She's the one who told me. She was like, girl, that's a demon. And I'm like, no, like I was confused, and it was because I couldn't see what was going on. So the sex that I was having with demons, it wasn't like I didn't feel scared or anything. It was like a natural thing. And it was because I was under the influence of magic, right? But I do call it rape because I did not give consent, to the demons to have sex with these demons. But I guess if you do magic, you are allowing that to happen.
Wow. So I mean, for me, this is like unimaginable because I'm not in that world. So I'm just imagining that entire experience of being in a relationship with somebody who's essentially dead.
Right. And I've actually had sex with more demons than I have human beings. And it was all of me, what I was, all the energy I was bringing in. And I opened all these doors and I became like a target. And then I also discuss in my book how I met a male witch who I was introduced to him, by someone I thought was my friend. And, me and this guy, we got into it, and he ended up, he would come into my dreams and harass and stalk me every night for like 2 years. And he was raping me in my dreams as well.
So is this something that you mentioned that you talk a little bit about this in your book? Is
Yes.
your book more memoir, or is it more of a help, like a self, I don't want to say self-help, but is it a book where you're teaching people who may be in this realm, newly in this realm, and not knowing how to deal with it, because you had to learn how to deal with this almost by yourself?
Right. It's a memoir. And I just discuss, everything that happened to me when I first became psychic and what happened after that. That's why it's such a long book. Um,
It is
and
a pretty long book. How many pages is it?
I think it's like 362.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a long book, but I feel like these things are happening to other people and they're afraid to talk about it. Um, I've talked to another woman who said she had sex with a demon too. Like, there's people that experience this stuff, and they, especially like in the Black community, like we don't tell people, because maybe we, how we look. But I have always been open about um the things that happen to me, because I'm surprised as well. I'm confused as well. Like, wow, this is crazy stuff. And
Hmm.
I definitely touch on, like, the dangers of like the black magic and like witches and stuff. Like I said about the guy, um, there are people who can dream walk, which they can astral project and go into your dream, and they can rape you. And like, where you like, when I would wake up, I would be in pain.
Mm.
There's witches who can do that, and it's just like, just because you don't believe in something doesn't mean it's not real. And it doesn't mean it can't happen to you.
Right. Totally understand.
And you
Um,
never know who's a witch. They're everywhere. They're in your neighborhoods, and you can get into an argument with someone, and then the next thing you know, they're trying to kill you spiritually. And that's how a lot of things go undetected, because harm is being done spiritually,
mhm.
and there's no way to like get proof. There's no way to get help, really.
Wow. So I'm how do you put that into words? Because I mean, you're doing great talking about it, but how do you write this down so the people you're trying to reach are able to understand this? Because as we mentioned a little earlier, there are people who may be going through this and not realizing that they're going through it, or
Hmm.
some people who are maybe new to this ability just like you were, and they don't fully understand it. They don't know how to deal with it. They haven't learned to live with it yet. So how do you write this down to where they can truly understand this?
I think after they read my book, like if they are spiritual and intuitive, they can relate to some of the stuff, and maybe they can understand why certain things are happening to them.
Hmm.
Because when we talk about the spiritual realm, sometimes we don't know why something's happening, and sometimes we may never get the answer. Like, there's no answer to how I became psychic just because I met this girl that was related to a rapper. Like, there's
Right.
no, it doesn't make sense. So I try to explain I explain to the best of my ability what I went through, and then the steps that I took after that. But I never really um, tackled everything, because with energy, it's always moving. So once you get a hold on something else, or you think you have conquered something, there's something else that comes up, especially with this ability. It's not all like, oh, I can see the future. I can see
Yeah,
what I've
people
done.
kind of romanticize it, or they make it exciting, like see the future, or tell me all about my past, or let me talk to my dead husband, or something like that. They make it seem like it's a fun thing,
Right.
and that's
Not
not
for, there's nothing fun about that when you have a bunch of dead people talking to you at night and you're trying to sleep.
right.
There's nothing fun about seeing creatures you've never seen before, or an entity trying to have sex with you, or you know what I'm saying, or if you see someone passing away. I don't want to see stuff like that. But it's like, when you have the ability, it's hard to control it. Like, you have to work your whole life trying to control it, as far as how much you are seeing, how much because I know a lot
Right.
of stuff. I can look at someone and start seeing stuff that I don't really want to see.
So now, Well, before I ask you the next question, it was a question that came up in the chat that I want to be respectful and ask him up. But he wanted to know, or he or she, I'm not sure who it is. They
Hmm.
wanted to know if you had ever exercised or if you have ever been exercised.
So I don't think so. I've went to many. I've seen a couple preachers, and like I said, I went to see a priest and everything. They did the whole holy water, holy oil thing on me, and I don't think I've been fully exercised because maybe they didn't think I needed that. But whatever they did not work for me.
I
But
see.
like where I am in my life right now, I'm not being attacked anymore or anything like that. Like I have, it's not as bad anymore.
Okay. And
Hmm.
now, with that being said, you are the first Black woman in the United States to start a mobile counseling business. How does that work?
So, my business, I travel to different clients and I created my own therapy and I work with people in different states. I go to their house and we do my counseling my way and how I created it. And I created a 30-day program where my client would get results faster in 30 days versus take going years to a therapist and working on things. And I use my own energy to raise their vibration.
Wow. So, since you've started this, have you found that there are a lot of people who are going through what you started off as going through?
Oh yes, I meet people almost every day that tell me that they're being attacked by demons, that they see ghosts, um, that they can see all kind of stuff, and they tell me they're really only comfortable telling me. They don't want everyone to know that. They don't want people to view them in a certain kind of way. But that's why I'm talking about it, and I'm a Black woman, okay, and I've been attacked most of my life.
So, sometimes we hear people, you see it on TV a lot, but you might run into people say they're being attacked, but we don't always take it very seriously. We think, oh, that person's crazy, or that person's a hypochondriac. But this is a real thing that when people are under a spiritual attack.
Hmm. And I think some people didn't believe me at first, but I think the majority of people did believe me. Um, I feel like my parents maybe didn't because they're not really spiritual at all. And they're just like, they're not religious, they're not spiritual. And like when I would tell them about the stuff that was going on with me, they kind of just brushed it off. And I'm like, I need help. I was like, I can't sleep. I couldn't sleep. I was going to see therapists and everything. And they were trying to, I went through a sleep study because they were trying to, figure out why is this happening? Why did I keep having these nightmares? And the nightmares I was having they weren't no joke because if you've ever seen a demon before, they are not they look scary. They are
Yeah,
scary
I'm
as
sure.
hell.
I
Okay. And
mean,
that's
I've
why,
never, I don't know if I've seen one, but just to picture one is scary to me.
yeah, and they be trying to kill you too. So it's not like they're just around. They be trying to harm you. They're trying to, in some cases they try to kill you, take you out. And that's why they're there. So this is like no joke. There's definitely the war still going on good versus evil. So, I try to stay on the good side because I done had a wild ride and
Mm.
I don't want no smoke.
All right, don't want no smoke. I got you. And I don't want you to have the smoke. All right, well, we only have a little bit of time left, a few seconds left. What would be your guidance? I don't want to just say advice, but what would be your guidance to somebody who says that I think that I'm under attack, or I know somebody who says they're under attack?
Well, in my experience, I had a hard time finding help. And I've seen so many people, but definitely if you are under attack, that you definitely got to stick with God, even if it doesn't seem like it's getting better. That's the only, energy that's going to protect you and get you through it, because God got me through all of that, all the stuff that I've been through, and how I look so young and youthful after what I've been through. It's like crazy, because it's like, God was helping, but I still had to go through pain and
Mhm.
suffering.
So you still have a relationship with God?
Oh, yes, yes. I
That's a
got
great
mad at God a lot, because I'm like, why are you just sitting around, letting this stuff happening to me? But I think I was one of the people that was supposed to speak about this stuff.
Wow, that's a great way to end it, because I'm sure there may have been some people watching who wondered whether you had a relationship with God, because you said that you were a Christian. You didn't say that you are a Christian. So there were probably people wondering. So I'm very glad that you made that distinction, that you still have a relationship with God.
Yes, I still have a relationship with God, but I'm not a Christian. I'm not into the religious thing, but I definitely I I'm with the Christ consciousness. So it's not more, of a structured thing. But definitely, if I didn't have God in my life, I would be dead.
Mm, it's a great way to end it. Can you show us your book one more time?
Sure. It's The Karmic Life of a Psychic Medium. My book is currently in the Barnes and Noble store, or you can get it on Amazon.
Okay. If they can they also get it through your website, which we have on the screen right now?
No, you can't get it through my website.
Okay.
Not at this time.
Oh, but what if I want an autographed copy?
Oh, I'm doing a U.S. book tour as
Okay.
well, and I started last April. So in the fall, I'll be touring the state of Texas. But if you go to my website, or if you go to my social medias, you can see what city I'm going to next.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for sharing your story with me. Thank you for trusting me to tell your story and to come on the show. This was a really, really interesting interview, and I'm glad that we had the chance to talk about it.
Okay, thank you so much. I really appreciate you.
And I appreciate you as well. Please stay in touch.
Yes, I will. Thank you. Bye
Thank
bye.
you. Bye bye. All right, y'all. That was author Brandi Wilson. Um, the name of her book is The Karmic Life of a Psychic Medium. I hope I said that correctly. But it's eye opening, because there are so many different people in the world going through so many different things, and this is why I really wanted to have her on the show, so we could talk more about this. But we're about to switch over, and we're going to talk about something that might be a little more cheerful for those of you like myself who are over 50. I am in a wonderful relationship. However, there are some people who are over 50. If you watch that show Later Daters on Netflix, you'll know what I'm talking about. There are a lot of people over 50 who are still looking for the one. Or maybe you're like me and you're in a relationship and you want to make it better. You want to look for ways to spice it up. I have this lovely young lady, Miss Sharon Jenkins, who is hosting an awesome, awesome summit this week. It started today and it's
Yes,
going all the way into Friday. Is that correct?
absolutely. Yes.
Awesome. So tell us all about it, Miss Jenkins.
Well, what do I need to do in the latter part of my life was the question that I asked myself. And I said, the world is at a love deficit. You know,
Mm,
see it in the political arena, you can see it in the church, you can see it in the everyday lives of people who are seeking and searching love. And then you have people who are eligible to be later daters because they were widowed, unfortunately divorced,
mm-hmm.
and then there's some married people who've been married for a while and they need a little bit of spice in your marriage.
I
So
love it. Not a little bit of spice.
a little bit of spice, they got some old tricks and they need some new ones.
So
So
now, okay, keep going.
so you introduce them to the modern dating world, Dr. Rhonda, and they
Hmm.
get sucked up, in the scams and ghosting and those Nigerian princes
You
and
know what? I
all.
blame Real Housewives of Atlanta for that, because that rumor going around that Shamia was married to an African prince or something. Now everybody wanted to be married to an African king.
So funny. Well, it's kind of funny because the summit is going well, by the way.
Wonderful.
And people, you're still invited. It's free. We also have a VIP option because we're about educating people, informing people, okay, empowering people to navigate the dating pool. A lot of times people are wrapped in, especially people my age, are wrapped in tradition.
Yeah.
Okay. And so what you did 20, 30, sometimes even 40 years ago will not work in today's modern world. People are a lot
Hmm.
more self centered. Women are a lot more empowered financially, and they
Hmm.
they have a better understanding of who they are, and they are definitely more empowered. So if you go with your old school bag in this in this new dating world, you might be disappointed.
Okay,
And
well now I have a question though.
mhm,
How how much do you think social media plays a part in that? Because right now there are people on social media who keep changing the game and moving the goalpost. First, our traditional way says that the man is the caretaker of the house, he's the leader of the house. But
mhm.
now, social media is saying, well, the man has to be making a certain amount of money, or the man can only use a certain type of card to pay for dinner. And if he's taking you to dinner, it better be to a certain restaurant. It can't be a chain restaurant. It has to be an expensive 4 to 5 star restaurant. So they keep changing the rules. The man can't have kids, the woman can't have kids, or if the woman has kids, they all have to be by the same person. There's all the rules keep changing. It How much are people who are over 50, how much are they being affected by these rules?
I think because for a lot of them, it's like navigating foreign waters. Okay.
Mm,
And keep in mind, boomers and the late millennials, um, computers weren't, the thing. We did face to face, we talked to people, you went on a date,
mhm,
to get to know someone. You understand where I'm coming from?
mhm,
So,
mhm.
yes, my answer to your question is social media has kind of screwed things up. Okay, because a lot of times people put forth false narratives so that they can either sell a product or sell themselves. For example, I could have went to a glamour shop and got myself all dolled up, okay? Put on new hair, all right? Got excuse me, the right kind of bra. And I mean, literally, I could look totally different from what I look now. And that's presenting a false narrative. So the person who is attracted to me is buying into that narrative, which is a lie. And then let's talk about AI and
Mhm,
avatars, all that
mhm.
awful kind of stuff.
And filters, don't forget the
Yes,
filters.
all built. Yes, yes, yes. So when you think about love in modern terms, you have to be careful because people, especially even today, I learned that people have different definitions of what
Mm,
love looks like and what a relationship looks like. And so
right.
what the summit does, or the 50 plus and flirty initiative is for you to get to know you, the genuine, authentic you, the dater, the person that really wants to show up so that you can get the results that you desire, bringing what you genuinely bring to the table.
Love that. Love that. So now, tell me about the summit. Walk me through the week. Do you have different subjects for each day of the week?
Well, actually, we've got matchmakers, we've got psychologists, we've got mental health professionals, we've
Nice.
got authors who write romance. And I think, how can I say this? I think romance is taking a hit that it shouldn't take. People deny themselves the beauty of a fantasy, okay? Because,
Oh,
yes, you
wait a
need to
minute.
be,
You have to repeat that. That sounds, I like that.
yeah,
What?
people deny themselves the beauty of a fantasy, okay?
Okay.
Being authentic doesn't mean that you deny yourself a beautiful experience. Being authentic means that your authentic self shows up to be casted in that
Mm.
romantic experience. So, the wonderful thing is that there are people out there who feel the same way that you feel. You just have to find that person. And the wonderful thing about online dating, even though there are a lot of pros and cons for
Hmm.
online dating, you get unlimited opportunities to find that person. You get a broader audience. But the summit itself, the initiative itself, is to better equip people who are 50 plus and the 45 and up can slide on in there, Dr. Rhonda, uh, to better equip them to navigate the modern dating pool of today.
I love that. Love that. So you said that it's not too late. I put my little promo code up there. We're gonna put it up one more time. Not my promo code, my little link right here.
That's right. Use Dr. Rhonda's link, okay? Just, just make sure you do that. And I do want to say this. We don't pretend to be a dating service. No, that's not who we are. And we don't even pretend to be dating experts. We are an information portal for people who are 45 and above who are looking to date. You
Yeah.
know, we come in truth. We're not trying to sell you anything. We are trying to empower, inform, and inspire you. Is there people who have just given up on love? No.
Especially when we get to our age, and first, when we're younger in our 20s, maybe even our 30s, we're still thinking idealistically. We want the one. We want them to ride in on the white horse. We want this, we want that. And then as we get older, sometimes you're like, okay, all of that was cute and idealistic, but see, I'm not I don't need to be swept off my feet anymore. I remember I was joking with this guy. He said, yeah, we're gonna get married and we're not doing all that dating. We're just gonna get married. But we too old to be trying to date each other for 2, 3, 4 years. I mean, is that true though? Do older people get married faster?
Yes, that is true, but that's because grown folks know, because of life experiences, who's a good fit for them better
Mm-hmm.
than they did in their 20s and their 30s. Hey, Jackie. Just
That's our girl right there.
yeah, that's our girl. So, I want people to get a grip because there's a lot of stuff going on in our world, but you have the right to be in a righteous relationship with
Yes.
someone that loves you and you can love back. We had all these definitions and all these barriers and all that. No, love is not that complicated. And I think, Dr. Rhonda, when we master the male female love, when we master that, we'll be better able to master true love from us in the world. See, love, I think this is just, they call me Mama J. So this is what I think. I think we go back to the beginning, we go back to Genesis, okay?
Hmm.
Adam and Eve, they messed up. Okay. So that's the place where we go to fix it.
Yes.
You see where I'm coming from? We go back
Hmm.
to the original plan. And I believe we are still equipped. We still have the bare necessities to bring about a love that is pure and empowering. And it calls for self sacrifice, it calls for being authentic.
Yes. And I think at our age, when we get over 50, there's no need in trying to um pretend to be something else. Just be authentic.
Mm.
I mean, I don't even think 20-year-olds need to pretend, but they have a little bit more time to date, I guess.
But it's their culture. And
Yeah.
I have respect for that, but I'm talking to the people in my generation and the one directly
Mhm.
underneath me. Time is of essence. And if you want to taste love, I mean the real love that your heart aches for, it's
Yes.
not too late to it's not too late to have that kind of love. We are a society of pretenders. That's the reason why the US is having the problem it's having now, because pretension has become the norm. But, there are still people out there who have a genuine appetite for traditional love. Now, you
Yes.
love the way you want to love. I'm not saying, you got to love my way, but I'm talking to the people who are interested in traditional love, pursuing a love or being pursued in the manner that generates a true traditional love relationship.
Makes sense. Makes sense. So today was the first day.
Yes.
How did it go today?
Excellent. Now, see what people don't understand. People keep texting me. Well, where is it going to be? Like, "Hey, baby, you can show up in your pajamas. You can show up in your underwear. Nobody will know because it's on the computer. All right. Now, Thursday, we're going to have a few of the speakers who are going to be available for Q&A. We're going to do Facebook. We're going to do a Facebook live
Okay. Oh,
streaming.
now that'll be interesting. So we can ask our questions in real time.
Yes. And,
Okay.
the wonderful thing about that, Dr. Rhonda, is the fact that you get to reach out and touch our speakers. But I fell in love with this initiative because, as you know, I have a lot of other stuff on my plate.
Yes,
But
you do.
but but I truly believe in love, and I believe that we can still have love the way we want to have love, you know, especially for people who are in their 50s and above. So
Absolutely.
what's really exciting about this summit is the fact that people came and brought their gifts and talents because we are like minded. They are like minded with me. They want you to find that love. Now, that's a genuine pursuit. Okay. So authenticity breeds authenticity. So we've got
Mm.
some fabulous people like Joan Price, 81 years old. The media calls her the sexpert. Now,
Okay, sexpert. That's interesting.
you can interpret that any way you want, but she's a
Mhm.
woman and she is an expert in her area, you know. And then we have our friend Omar Tyree, and he's talking about relationships. I mean, the characters, how he constructed based on personal experience, the
Yes.
relationships that are in his books. Okay. And then you got me, and I'm talking about those pearls and pitfalls of online dating. We also, Dr. Rhonda, have a YouTube channel where we went and interviewed two people, two couples who actually got married later on in life. And they tell their story. So when you go to the YouTube channel, you'll get to meet Rhonda and Pierre, which is the most popular YouTube video that we have because they shared their pursuit, and their coming together and the challenges they had. And it's comical because Pierre is a little bit shorter than Rhonda. And you know how we always say, look, we like those tall men, but don't because look, that man that flipped her wig around. That's all I'm
Oh my goodness.
The girl, look, the girl looks like a queen. He calls her his queen, and she looks like a queen. See, I knew her way back. So I can,
Okay.
I have a point of reference. She's always been beautiful, but now she's glowing. And I just sincerely believe that we are entitled to that kind of love. I would just, it doesn't matter that Adam and Eve messed up. So what? You know,
Yeah.
we get an opportunity again to have the kind of love that we desire. Don't give up. You know,
Mm-hmm.
don't give up and don't let what you see happening in the modern world, you know, convince you that it all is lost because it's not. The answer to Tina Turner's song title, What Does
What's
Love Have
love
to
got
Do
to
with
do with it?
It? Is everything. Love has everything to do with it, and it's still available for you.
Girl, you are really preaching a sermon right now.
Because it's the truth. I think we get so caught up in the small things that we forget the big picture. Can
Yes.
you imagine in our community, the African American Black community, what would have happened if people had genuine love? How would
Mm,
that have affected our families, the family structure? Okay.
yeah.
What would our children look like? You understand where I'm coming from?
Yes.
I'm
Yes.
not knocking single mothers because I was a single mother for a while. But what I am saying is if we had the right kind of relationships, our children, the modeling for our children would have helped them to handle some of this stuff that is happening to them in the world. Okay. And so, love or being in love or having a love relationship is more than just sex. It's more than just, I got somebody and you don't. It's a lot
Right.
more than that. It is the door that opens up abundance.
Love it.
Okay. And so we're seeking abundance in money, and we're seeking abundance in control and relationships. But baby, it's nothing like you surrendering and he surrendered. And you guys just decide we're going on a trip together, baby. And you my ride and die partner. Hey, you my ride and die partner, and I'm yours, and we're going to weather any storm that comes because love is what's happening here.
Yeah, you are preaching a sermon. I am not mad at you. All right, so now tell me, I know that you said it's not too late to register.
Mhm,
So they missed the first day.
mhm.
So somebody who registers, let's say tonight or maybe tomorrow, are they able to access anything that they may have missed this morning?
No, if they decide to do free, the answer is no. Each day is available for 24 hours. Now, you can participate by becoming a VIP. And that's so wonderful because we got some juicy stuff for VIPs. Not only will you have lifetime access, but you get a wonderful ebook that kind of is a roadmap to navigating the dating pool. Okay. I have a writing intern, and her assignment for this semester was to write a book for people 50 plus with full of resources
Love
and
that.
methods and all that wonderful kind of stuff. And she is in her early 20s,
And she's
late,
giving us advice. What the
baby.
young whippersnapper know about us?
Oh, I knew you were going to say that, Dr. Rhonda. But baby, that was the benefit. That was the benefit because she went out and researched like no other person. And
Love it.
when I picked up that book, I was like, "Speak to me, baby." Okay. So she did an excellent job, and she's going to get an A as a result of that. And then we also have a magazine full of articles for this particular audience. So they're going to get a magazine. You're going to see Dr. Rhonda's advertised in that magazine because, she's my girl. You know what I mean? And then the ebook, and I have a surprise on Friday that I'm going to share with people because we're not stopping this narrative.
All
We not
right.
stopping this narrative. Now, and young folks aren't social. Okay. Yeah, but don't let age fool you, baby. Just like, look, I'm gonna be honest. Just like our age ain't fooling nobody. We ain't fooling with nobody. Them young folks, when you give them the right guidance in the right direction, you get the right results.
There
Yeah,
you go.
yeah. And
There
that's
you
what,
go.
and after being an educator for so many years and working with young people as a mentor, it has really benefited me. And as long as I live, I'm going to be a mentor. I have so much hope. I have so much trust and love for young people that we just got to lead them in the way that they should go. And sometimes they come kicking and screaming, and don't take their phones away from them. That's all I'm gonna say. Just don't take that phone away from them, and you and them will be all right. Okay. So, but love is available to you. Don't be afraid. Put
Love
your
it.
big toe in the dating, navigating pool and see what happens. Just your
Yeah.
big toe.
Just the
Pretty
big toe, y'all.
Yeah, pretty soon all of you gonna be up in there because this is fun. And you know what, Dr. Rhonda, I know time is short, but we as older adults are more in control of who we are. We don't have parents saying, "Look, I don't like that boy. You ain't gonna marry him. You ain't going out with him," or that girl is fast. Mm.
Yeah.
She ain't marriage material, and
Yeah.
mama's like this. Okay. No, we don't have all that drama. We bring our authentic selves and we're gonna get the results we want.
Amen. And
Mhm.
that is a great way to end it. Unfortunately, we have about a minute left. So just very quickly, I you're not just the founder of the 50 plus and flirty summit. You're also an author, and you have some other projects going on. Oh, what's she reaching for? What you reaching for? There she is.
Queen Zara, the
Come on,
film
Queen Zara.
soon.
Oh, and
The
the film is coming soon. So very quickly, tell us about Queen Zara.
Queen Zara is a starts out as a princess, and a lot of stuff happens in this small African kingdom. And the whole premise behind Queen Zara's story is the fact that with the proper mentoring, our young people can become all that God ordained them to become. And we all come equipped with natural skills.
Mm-hmm.
And because of our call and purpose in life, sometimes we think that love will escape us. But the truth of the matter is, when you walk in your purpose, you get all those wonderful benefits that your heart desires. So Queen Zara is bad, baby. Don't do
All right.
hand-to-hand combat with her, because she will, oh baby, she better than a bionic woman, honey. This girl smart, is smart, but there are some things that she needs extra help with. And that's what we talk about a lot. But it's a lot of drama. We got pirates, girlfriend, modern day pirates. We
Mm.
got drones. We got, Mortal Kombat. We got, my neighbor friend said, this ain't no romantic suspense book. He said, this is a lot more than that. And it is.
Wow. And this can be found on Amazon, Barnes and Noble.
Yes. And the second part is called the Virtuous Woman series. The second part is called the Lost Queen, because Queen Zara gets exiled. And because I live in Houston, Texas, guess what? She gets
What?
exiled to Houston, Texas, baby. And that's exactly where we're going to film The Lost Queen. And I can tell you, baby, 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 if you like suspense and you want a little bit of romance sprinkled in there, you're going to like The Untold Love Story and The Lost Queen. Okay?
Okay. So very, very quickly, the Social Book Club heard you mention movies, so she's looking for it on Amazon Prime.
Oh,
So
the movie not
let her
there.
know how. Hmm?
The movie not there yet. We gonna do the movie, baby. Our
Yeah.
goal.
So right now, just go to Amazon or Barnes and Noble and purchase the book. And eventually, the book is they're actually working on the book becoming a movie, and we're gonna speak it into existence and say next year, right?
Oh, for real. We are working on that thing now. I wrote it so that it would transition well into a screenplay. But I wrote it for the young people out there who need a little bit of help. We think that when they graduated from high school and graduate from college, our job is done. No, our job is never done. And
It's
whether
never
they
done.
Yes. And whether Dr. Rhonda embrace us or not, we got to hang in there because they
Look,
really need
speaking as the mother of a 25-year-old woman, our job is never done.
us. And thank you so much for having me today.
No, thank you for being here. This has been a fun conversation. Thanks so much.
I'm a fun kind of girl.
Yes, you are. All right, Miss Sharon, we're going to talk soon, but thank you once again. And everybody, please go ahead and register for the 50 Plus Flirty Summit. It's happening now. It's over on Friday, so we don't want you to miss this great information. So it's free, so you have no excuse, or you can pay a little bit and do the VIP. But either way, there's some great information, great things happening, and you don't want to miss the Q&A on Thursday, right?
Absolutely not. And if you are a later dater, baby, don't miss this opportunity, because we're going to do this again in the summer, and we're going to have some real surprises for you.
Oh, all right now. She said that with her whole chest. All right. All right. Thanks again, Sharon. You have a great night.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right, y'all. That is the end. We have come. We started a couple minutes late, so it looks like we ran over, but we actually didn't, because we started a couple minutes late. So thank you all for your patience. Thank you for hanging in there, and thank you for continuing to support the Horizons Author Lounge. Please go ahead and share this show, because there's somebody who needs to hear about the great things that we were talking about tonight. And I want you all to help me to make this show to continue to grow, make it flourish, and so we can continue to support the authors that we have been supporting for the last 3 years. So I love this show. I look forward to Monday nights, and I'm also looking forward to tomorrow when I co-host Black Authors Matter TV with Gwen Richardson. So join me there tomorrow on the National Black Book Festival page, because we're going to have a time once again. All right, that's all I have for tonight, guys. Love you all. Have a wonderful evening. Have a great week, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.